Turn it over to Brett Tolman. He's a former U.S. attorney and the executive director for Right on Crime. So what did the plea deal blow up mean to you today, Brett?
Jesse, thanks for having me on. I'll tell you, the first thought I had was deception and arrogance on both sides. You saw the arrogance and the deception on Hunter Biden's team in attempting to try to, remove something from the record that might be damaging by pretending to be associated with the congressional oversight hearing and the evidence that came out. You had the arrogance and the deception of the prosecutor. I think they got caught, Jesse. I think there were two plea deals in this case. I think there was the one on paper, and there was the one that they had worked out and done verbally, where the prosecutor had said, look, this will be the end of it. We'll just do this, plead to this. He'll not do any jail time, and we'll be done. And what got in the way of all that arrogance and all that deception was just a simple judge asking questions she was supposed to ask and getting to the bottom of this sweetheart deal.
Now that they've been humiliated and exposed for doing this sleazy deal, they have a month to put this thing back together. How is it possible to put a deal like this back together without it being exposed again?
So the department is going to have to make some tough choices right now. And they're going to have to decide, do we add the FARA counts in? Do we also add perhaps a more serious consequence on the gun charge? Do we also go with what we've done in every other tax case and do something more substantial in the tax counts that have been brought? And do we make a recommendation that the judge sentence him like we do in every other case in this country to what the appropriate minimum or maximum guideline range is according to what he pleads guilty?
Roll
That's
the
what
dice
the
and
judge
have the
wants.
first son potentially serve prison time?
That's the choice they have to make right now, is if they're going to try to restore the legitimacy of the department's reputation, or Jesse, even worse, will they do this? Will they just throw it all away and throw it to the caution to the wind and dismiss the counts and just let everybody know what's happening? Those seem to be their two choices.
I think that's what they're going to do, Brett, and here's why. Hunter's legal team came in thinking he was getting global immunity to eternity. And now the thing blows up the smithereens, and they have to cobble this thing back together and save face. How do you go from global immunity to let's roll the dice, he might have to serve a couple months?
Well, the prosecution knows they had to admit that it was an ongoing investigation because that's what they've been telling Congress. So if you're right, if I'm right, that one of the choices the department has is to dismiss this thing and just admit that they're a protection racket for the Bidens, they're going to have to justify getting rid of it. And at this point, they've already charged it, and she's arraigned him. He's pled not guilty, and she's going to demand that they prosecute the case or give her a reason to dismiss that.
What a mess, Brett. I mean, this is an absolute catastrophe. The worst possible scenario for the Biden family. All right, Brett, thanks as always. You're great on this.
Thanks, Jesse.